Hey y'all, Dr. Fox back here with your weekend update. We got some updates for you and all across everything from retail and Blizzcon's around the corner, our predictions and all that fun stuff. So stick around. Oh yes I will. For those that don't know, that is a line from Wreck-It Ralph. Little dialogue from Wreck-It Ralph. Let's jump right in here. Retail, wow. Hollow's End, that's been up for a bit. Still going until Halloween. October 31. See, I'm getting ahead of myself when I almost slipped and said December. October 31st. So we've got that continuing through the week. We've got Time Walking. That's been live this week. I'm actually very, very stoked and excited on my main character here on retail. She's been plugging away at that. I don't usually do it. I'll usually just run about 8 total, but 4 on the Alliance and 4 on the Horde for during time walking. And what I end up usually doing is after that, it's just the one, just to get the 500 time walking badges. And what I've been actually doing is running. You can see here that I'm all excited. I've also got my Night Elf Druid leveled all the way to 112. And I ran her a couple of times. But back onto my main, what I was leading back to is that weekend event where if you do 5 time walk-ins, I actually did 5. Because now the great part is why I did that was now that I know that when I do the 500 in another 3 weeks, I'll be able to jump right in and get my first mount. And then one right after another each time walking that comes up from there. So starting in about 3 weeks, you should hear me excited enough that when the next time walking goes live, I should be able to start getting my time walking mounts as we go month by month here. So Recruited Friend has gone live. I'm very excited about that. To be able to get, I'd like to hear what your folks' comments are. I know there's some pros and cons for all that kind of stuff. But I'm excited, but at the same time a little bumming because I was hoping that I could use my alt account. I would have done it and I offered it to a couple of friends, but they didn't need an account active, so they're already set. I wish it would be proactive back for when Classic went live, but goddess forbid if we're able to do that, right? So we've got some other things going. There's been some spoilers ahead. If you don't want to hear that, that's gonna go live right now. 8.3 data mining news. We've been finding things of like the gear corruption will be. What you'll be able to see is, yes, you will eventually be able to purify it for free, but you'll have to sort of figure out where your corruption points are going to be and how that's going to, what your math is going to work out for. And I know a lot of people don't want to have to deal with that. I know I'll end up having my notebook like I have here that I'm reading out of as well, and I write a lot of things in that as well. So we've got that corruption coming as well for some of that data mining news on the front for retail WoW as well. We shift gears in classic WoW. The good old Wicker Man actually does offer its buff at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. So if you are actually on 8 p.m. Eastern Time server, it will be 8 p.m. We thought it was 11 p.m. because even though it was an Eastern server, that they were still going by Pacific time, so it was nice to find that out on that aspect of things. And yes, that is also continuing in Classic as well. So that news continues through Classic. Hope you're able to plug away at that. I'm sadly not have been able to play as much this week. I've had a lot going on in life, and I'll talk about that in moments. And I guess as we shift gears into life, it's been absolutely crazy busy around here. I haven't been able to play as much this week because we've had quite a few folks coming in here and actually working on the electricity. So we've been plugging away at that, and they've come in twice now. They've got to come in one more time and finish up the bathroom and then the living room. And that will pretty much do it at this point. It's such a huge accomplishment here at this house. We've been going almost 2.5 years now without correct electrical system set up, and it's been a long time coming. We've needed that, and it has just been a huge godsend in this case. It's going to be broke for a while, but I'm grateful to have that piece of the house finally integrated and eradicated of that worry as well. So that is what's been going on around here on the house. There's a lot more to it than that. I'm just not getting into too much in depth. I don't want to make this weekend update too extremely long. BlizzCon, of course, is next week. So predictions, here we go again. Spoilers. Here's the whoop whoop. So if you need to leave, go right ahead or jump ahead. And some of the predictions that we're anticipating, of course, some of these leaks come from anticipated individuals that seem to always come through with the correct ones. And usually I try to avoid all these things. But some of the things that maybe we'd like to see or that we think we're pretty much going to see at this point. First off, the one exact thing that is out right now is the schedule is out for the new BlizzCon. So at least you'll be able to kind of see how things lay out for that. For those that are going with virtual ticket, I know that Hazelnuttygames, she said she's heading down on Wednesday, the day before Halloween. They've got some little events going on Halloween evening that she'll be part of as well over there. That's Hazelnuttygames. That's her channel name over on Twitch and YouTube. Some of the predictions, of course, at this point, the WoW new expansion, if they don't announce something, that's pretty much going to be like, I don't want to say it, but that's what it's going to feel like. I think something's definitely going to go on with factions. As you've noticed, we've had the new faction icons getting added. So we'll have to kind of see how that plays out. Possibly a new class, like a range with heal, maybe? Wink, I don't know. Diablo 4 announcement, I think, definitely. There may be something else about mobile, whether it be for WoW, or maybe we will or won't finally get the Diablo Immortal that so many had issue with. Overwatch 2, maybe, or some new announcements of it expanding out. And then the 3 closing acts as well. Looks like we'll have 3 closing acts again like we did last year. No real definitive announcement at this time of who they are. But I'm sure that will slowly come out as we go through our week here. And as the first part of this final week of October, and as it leads up to BlizzCon. Yeah, I got my mobile virtual ticket. Yes, I know it's expensive. Yes, I know. I got my Wendigo woolly pullover and onesie. Yeah, so all those fun little things. As we shift gears into Q&A, let's see. Dr.Fox, when is the 15th anniversary supposed to begin? Well, approximately, in my research with forums and other things from past years, it looks like, at least this is the window, okay? Now, don't quote me on this, but it's got to definitely be in sometime around this time frame. Usually approximately about mid-November, and again, bear with me, this is just a tentative date, okay? But no guarantees, because I went back and looked at the calendar and I'm like, oh, wabawonga. Okay, so November 16th to the 30th. At least this could be the window of time frame, okay? So bear with me. Let's hope that's the case here. Dr. Fox, do you play through Legion Order Halls or do you level? Well, the first time, what I usually tend to do with leveling is I always take my main character. That's Janalia. She's my Night Elf Hunter. And what I do is I take my time. I go through the story. I read all the text. I listen to the dialogues, the cutscenes, all that. When I go back to level alts, that's the ones that I tend to just kind of install auto. I just go right through that with all those alts. I paused because Azeroth autopilot. I just couldn't think of it at the top of my head for a second. That's what it was. So I tend to kind of skip through that. Just kind of level through. When I hit Legion, a lot of times what I do is, after I've been flying around in Draenor collecting treasures, and then I usually unlock the salvage yard down there with the goblins, by that point, I usually end up hitting 98, level 98. So as soon as I hit 98, I will portal back, and usually I can use the little billboard, and then it will say, do you want to take on the Legion? I do that, go back to Stormwind, and then I usually just skip the intros there now that I can do that. And I moved right in, and I literally just kind of keep my calendar open and watch a website that tells me the Legion assaults when they're up. And I pretty much just jump in, and I can go with war mode on sometimes with help, sometimes by myself. But I'll try to do it partially with war mode on. But if I keep dying, I'll shut it off. And I end up usually just doing the Legion assaults just to fly me to 110. And then I'll do it one more time to get me to 111. But as soon as I hit 110, I go and I get my upgraded weapon. But I've got my heirlooms. So by the time I hit 111, I can now jump to a 216 weapon for my heirlooms as soon as I hit 111. So I'm able to start crushing Legion stuff pretty easily, and so then it becomes more enjoyable for me anyway. It's less hassle. So then I will go back, but a lot of times I will try to kind of do some of the order hall things kind of along the way as some of them unlock. And so then I'll usually at that point, now that I know Legion will be a little easier for me, is I will tend to either level to 120, get my nice Nazdajar gear, go back and do some of that order hall thing, because I've been trying to finish up. There's a couple of pets there I still got to get from like the Death Knight. I'm having trouble with that system, and I did go all the way with my hunter to get her mounts. So yeah, at some point maybe, I hope definitely, but I don't want to, no promises, because I don't know how crazy silly. Dr. Fox, how many guilds have I been in? Just the one. Ever since the beginning. My brother started one, and I've literally been on board with him. He's had me temporarily take leadership of it, but it's just a very small private family one really at this point. My brother, myself, and just a couple other guildies that we briefly talk about. And it's the same one. We have a couple of different guilds actually. We've got the companions on the Alliance side here in retail, over here on Nazdajar, and we have the Space Bulls over on Anderhall for the Horde side on retail. And then we created a small guild on Classic for the Horde. We haven't been able to do the Alliance one because I was hoping to stream there. Now that's because of all this electrical upgrade in the house. Pretty much now I'm not going to be able to afford at Black Friday a nice upgrade for my computer. So it looks like I won't be streaming again for some time after that. So things are going to become very, very challenging. So to come back to your question, that's kind of how many guilds at the time and what we've gone through in that aspect. Am I going to get any merch? Well, no, not to bring up any negativity, but who wants to see a woman like myself at my age when half of the time you get horrible, negative, awful, gross, disgusting comments? Not that I'm focusing on those, because I'm focusing on the good ones. But when they say horrible things like, what are you, a man? And that just looks god-awful on some human being like myself. So, and those are the ones I tend to avoid. But we know that because I'm bringing them to light, people will be like, woohoo, I've got my negative attention on them now, and they're discussing it. So just on that side of it, and partially because we just did so much work here, sadly, I know Hazelnuttygames is going to be putting some out, and a few others that you could definitely catch over there. Sadly, I will not be able to afford the merch, even if I wanted to, and avoid all that negativity of what comes with that. But I did do that a few years back. If you look back at a few of my older videos, it wasn't the best high quality, but we did that it was so exciting. Like, I think the day of Blizzcon started, and the package literally arrived that afternoon, and I was so excited, or like mid-morning. I think I had it by noontime before it all kicked off. So if that helps shed a light a little bit on that, that doesn't mean that I let negativity overpower me, give up, and then don't ever do it anymore. Because trust me, I've had some horribly negative things that say, just, and do us a favor and end your life. And no one wants to see that kind of mess. So I'm not going to get into that whole negative side of it to bring us fully down. But with that, let me just kind of come back and wrap up that question that, as I said, because mostly what it comes down to is at this point finances. And because it's now become a very challenging situation financially for me for some time, at least not this year. There will not be any merch videos, sadly. It'd be different. I've done a mail time before, and I wasn't very flattering in that episode. So we'll have to kind of see. And it's not about that. It was just about the excitement of sharing with the positive and the good people out there about these good things. So with that said, I'm going to wrap things up. Again, don't forget, this is Dr. Fox. Make sure you take 2 weekend updates. In this case, we've got, and don't forget to take some good old Blizzcon next week. That's some good therapy right there. But stay healthy. Make sure to stay very, very healthy. Stay hydrated. That's all I'm asking. We'll get into that with another weekend update. And so I'll probably be coming back on next weekend, probably late in the weekend, because I'm going to make sure most of the updates generally tend to get put out on Friday and Saturday. We do have a few things happening on Sunday there with BlizzCon, but generally we don't tend to get too many large, massive things going on with that. So hopefully the weekend update will be out around probably Sunday. It could be late Sunday. We'll have to see how things play out. Midday. Something along those lines. Anyway, so again, this is Dr. Fox. Moore's over there. She's taking a nap, a.k.a. cat. And so I hope you all have a wonderful week. And we will, once again, see you later.